Welcome back to New Car Week, the random week where all the cars decided to show up at once and we've been revealing a new one every single day. They just keep getting better, and this is no exception. But tomorrow will be the grand finale at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so make sure you come back and watch that one too. In the last video with the A86, I introduced that car as being one that you guys have been commenting about for a while, wondering why I don't own one. But I think I can say I've gotten even more questions about why I've never owned this particular car than I'm about to show you guys. It's a motherfucking Supra. Today's video is brought to you by one of my longtime sponsors, ShipStation. In the world of online businesses, the best time to set yourself up for growth is before the opportunity arises. So don't let yourself get drowning in orders. Take advantage of ShipStation as your one-stop shipping solution. ShipStation is going to integrate with all your products, all your storefronts, and putting everything into one place is going to open you up for more opportunities to get yourself out there and even grow more. Amazon, Etsy, eBay, Shopify, ShipStation integrates with all of them. Save time and easily compare rates with different couriers and compare the delivery times too, so you can make your customers happy and you'll get access to the same shipping rates as Fortune 500 companies. Doesn't matter if you're shipping a small stack or a truckload, ShipStation is gonna pass the savings on to you. 98% of customers that use ShipStation become customers for life, and I can tell you that's true for both me at LZMFG and the whole crew at Drift HQ. Ship more and grow more with ShipStation. All you gotta do is go to shipstation.com/AdamLZ and get a free 60-day trial. Start today and get set up for the biggest shipping season of the year. That's 2 months free at shipstation.com/AdamLZ. And I wanna give a massive thank you to ShipStation for sponsoring this video. Here's the deal. I like Supras. They're cool, but they've never really done that much for me. I can't remember when it was, but I remember seeing a Supra in this color in person. This color is Royal Sapphire Pearl, and I fell in love with the car. Now they look great. Mike's car that he owns now is actually one of my neighbor's cars that they were trying to sell me forever. In retrospect, I probably should have bought it, but I'm glad it's in Mike's hands. But this car popped up, and it kind of caught me off guard because I never thought I'd be able to afford to own a Royal Sapphire Pearl Supra. And with me saying that, USDM ones, even NA auto cars, are upwards in the 6 figures, which is, to me, ridiculous for a car like this. This is a JDM version, so it is right-hand drive, which me personally, I don't care about. Interior could use some work. You know, it's got gauges and ECUs and things that are painted. It's really not that rough though, I'm pretty happy with it. The biggest thing is this car was a grade 4 and the paint's beautiful. Having a car as a starting point that has good paint is super important to me. But I will say, you might have noticed, there's an intercooler on this car, but I ain't got Royal Sapphire Pearl Supra turbo manual money. The car is NA, but it is 6-speed. It's a SZR, which means that this car, because it's a Series 2, came with a V161, essentially the same transmission that came in the USDM Turbo Supras, but it's a little bit different. I think the ratios are slightly different, but it's a strong transmission. It's the good box, so this thing is 6-speed. The intercooler that you might have noticed, this car is actually an NAT setup, and I've been trying to hold in my excitement to look under the hood, to look at it with you guys, but I've been told by the guys at the shop that it's not a beautiful HKS turbo kit like I was hoping. Underneath the hood, you'll see there is a big turb ski and some very interesting high IAT routing of the intercooler piping. Engine bay, everything looks pretty solid in the sense of no real crash damage. The color looks good on the car. But Mike did point out this hole that was cut here is probably something I'm gonna wanna repair. We'll walk around the car though. Like I said, the paint on this car is in fantastic shape. Jeff's gonna come by this weekend and polish it, and I think it's gonna clean up beautifully. Does have some pretty cool work, 2-piece wheels on it. Underneath, the car has no rust, which I'm pumped about. It's got a little bit of wave to one of the frame rails. I did just notice this dent, but that looks like I can PDR that out. Yeah. That's not that bad.
We got a guy for that.
And there's a little scratch here that I just noticed. God. It's not that bad. The car's in great shape, and it has the JDM arrow too. This is actually from the factory in Japan. It's not an aftermarket piece, so that's pretty cool. It's expensive, hard to get. And because it's a Series 2, it has a Series 2 tails, a Series 2 front end, and the interior pieces are Series 2. I'm very happy with it. And the price that I paid for this car, it sucks that it's NA motor, but at least it has a good transmission. It's the color that I wanted. It looks exactly how I want. Pretty much all I want to do on the outside is just change it back to the OE black style lip. But we've got so many JZ parts laying around that my goal to build this car, because this is the one car I will tell you guys is gonna get built in Fingers crossed we can have time to do it this year once the other stuff gets taken care of. I want this to be like this car, but scaled up. I love this car as like, it's comfortable, it makes good power, like I can drive it anywhere, it's reliable. But this car makes like 700 horsepower, and I feel like the Supra needs to make closer to 1,000. I just remember in the YouTube comments growing up, like I was always so jealous of all the kids that would comment, well, yeah, that car's cool, but my uncle has a 1,000 horsepower Supra, and I want to be that uncle, so I need a 1,000 horsepower Supra.
Fair enough, fair enough.
And with that being said too, like we've got so many Jay-Z parts laying around. The ongoing joke has been I'm gonna put my spare FD motor, which is like a crazy high RPM 3-liter, partially concrete filled block, 1,300 horsepower capable motor in one of these things, but honestly teetering by putting a 3.4 in it maybe instead of a 3-liter. I don't really know full plans yet, but I haven't driven the thing yet. I haven't gotten into boost. I did put a little bit of race fuel in it because God knows how this thing was tuned. Based on the turbo kit, detonation is highly likely. But yeah, everything's in pretty good shape. Did we determine, Mike, if I can change these little rings?
I believe that's the Series 2 thing, but you might be able to.
Well, I just want to like put new ones in because the chrome is kind of fading off.
Yeah, you should be able to change those.
My shift knob's backwards. It looks like my ECU I need to tape better so it doesn't fly around. I'm really excited to do a lap time around the compound with this thing because I have no idea if it's going to be somewhat fast or slow. I feel like the lap times have kind of been dependent on weight and tires. This thing's kind of on some basic street tires, so I don't expect anything crazy, but who knows if the thing is going to boogie once I hit boost. These brakes, Mike, are these like special Supra brakes? That's not turbo brakes, right? They're smaller?
They might be turbo brakes. That might be part of the SZR package.
It'd be cool if they were, but they look small. We're trying to figure out if this car's been repainted or not. The kind of overall consensus is if this car has been repainted, they've done such a good job that we've hardly been able to tell. Like there's no seam lines, there's no overspray. The only thing we noticed is like one of the skirts has a little dry spot, but that could have just been like the side skirt getting repainted. Yeah. Everything matches great. I'm very, very anal about paint, and like this car, it rolled up and I was stoked.
Yeah, it's gonna come back. Beautifully.
Also, fun fact that Mike's actually doing right now on his engine, in case you don't know, the non-VVTi NA2J's bottom end is essentially the same bottom end minus oil squirters as the turbo motors, and they can take the same power. So if I wanted to just pop a GTE head on this motor would be good for a lot of power. But all this is gonna come out and I'm gonna replace it with all my fancy drift car that makes big power and sounds cool. And I'm not gonna lie too, like I became way more excited at the idea of getting a Supra when I drove TJs on the street. Because I've always like looked at Supras as drag cars that people go do roll racing in, but I really enjoyed just kind of cruising in his Supra. It was comfortable, it sounded good. It's fun to take photos of for Instagram. I'm really hoping that when I take this off, the paint's okay behind the bumper. I'm really stoked though. Like it's been a while and I never thought I'd own a Supra because they're so goddamn expensive, but this car popped up and it kind of ticked all the boxes for me. And I guess, man, it almost had to be a year ago. This car was actually, because it's a 97, it just became legal. So I was waiting for this car to become legal to import. So I've owned it for quite a while. It's just been sitting in Japan, waiting for the right time. Yeah, no active aero under here. My under tray is zip tied up in lots of places. So that might get active if I start pushing it.
Not as active as your E36 exhaust.
My intercooler is so tiny.
Be interesting to see what this thing makes in the dyno.
Yeah, so when I drove it over to the house, I did floor it, but I never got into boost, which tells me the turbo's probably pretty big. Yeah. Which makes me think that it might make some good power. My guess, just based on the turbo size and how it feels never even being into boost, I think this thing could make upwards of 450 horsepower. Yeah. The boost gauge goes up to 2 bar, so let's start her up. Let's let them hear this puppy purr. I'm stoked, dude. Big Supra guy. Yeah. Me, you, Johan, hopefully we could all be cruising in our Supras together. Yeah, that'd be sick.
No noisy valves, no noisy rods.
I hope it doesn't. Look at that thing. I hope it doesn't blow up, but I did put some high octane gas in it, and I also don't care because it's gonna get a better motor, so yeah. But it'd be cool if it didn't blow up. It sounds like there's a big exhaust leak. I think it's at the downpipe. Maybe, yeah.
No spool.
Yeah, I hear no boost. Let's go take it for a ride and see if we can get into boost. We've got some race gas in it now for a little insurance against maybe a little aggressive tune. We're gonna see how she feels once we hit boost. You ready? I'm gonna hit it on first.
All right. Little flutter there.
Dude, I feel like, can you film the boost gauge? I feel like it never actually went into boost.
Yeah, I'll
Let's see if it builds boost. Like 2 pounds?
maybe, yeah.
I wonder if first gear isn't enough load, or is there like a low boost setting?
I don't know.
Airflow adjust. I don't feel confident changing that.
Yeah, they might have just been super safe with the setup, and you know, because it's NA.
No, it's turbo.
Yeah.
Maybe that giant exhaust leak is pre-turbo, so it's just not building a lot of boost. Maybe there's a lot of boost leaks. I'm gonna try getting in a second and see if we can hit boost. Maybe it just needs more load. Watch this thing be slower than the GX around the compound. It started building a little bit of boost.
It's getting there.
It's still, dude, it's
You need like an airport runway to
I know.
hit full boost.
Third gear, we might actually be able to make 5 pounds. I'm still very grateful for my Supra.
Yes.
I was a little overzealous. I was like, Mike, I think it might make 600 horsepower based on the photos. It don't make no 600 horsepower.
I think you got lucky with your red R32 and that happening.
If I really slipped the clutch like I just did there, it like built a little bit of boost. Is it okay to drift a Supra?
Yeah.
Rad Dan does it. I'm not gonna rub anything.
I don't think so.
I'd like to try a donut before I do a lap around the compound.
Okay.
Is that okay with you?
I mean, sure. Yeah.
I will induce a donut right here. Yo, stock Supra slide's great.
Yeah?
Instantly full confidence. I think I could link the whole course and like do whatever with this thing.
Let me see why Rad Dan loves him.
Yeah. Big shout out to Rad Dan. Maybe he'll hang out with me more now that I have a Supra. All right, so as a reminder, right now we have an E36 M3 in the lead, followed by an A86, followed by a GX100. I honestly don't know where this is gonna stack up, but I have a feeling the A86 might be faster. I guess we'll see. All right, guys, NAT RSP Supra. Let's see what this thing can do. Good amount of wheel spin. Let's see how it handles coming through this curve. Ooh, a little bit of oversteer. Feels nice, actually. Whoa! First car that's wanted to drift that bank. That's kind of crazy. Little bit of wheel hop action going, but still very predictable. Kind of likes oversteering, but pretty good, actually. Correct and oversteer. Little bit of rubbing going on. This thing rips. It was probably the easiest car to drive at its limit. Definitely a little bouncy. I feel like the suspension could be a little stiffer, but a surprising amount of front grip in this thing. I definitely expected this car to push a lot more than it did. Of all the cars we've tested so far, this one's for sure the most oversteer happy, and it made it so predictable and easy to drive. I got virtually no push. It feels like it's gonna be a lot faster than I thought just because of the amount of traction it can hold through the corner.
Really?
Oh yeah. And with a very unexpected jump to the front of the list, we have the Mark IV Supra with a whopping 3302. I knew it was going to be fast, but I expected the E36 to kind of reign over it just with weight and power. But I guess, I mean, maybe that Supra makes in the 300s, but I think more than anything, just the amount of front grip that it had let me just drive around with confidence and put down a good lap. But a whole second faster is pretty wild. However, you guys are going to see in the next video at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time that the new car may shatter every single one of these times by seconds. I'm very, very excited to put a motor in this car, but even more excited for the next video that you guys are about to see. It is not going to be tomorrow at 5 p.m. like originally planned. We ran into some weather delays, but I'm hoping to still have the grand finale on Sunday for you guys. It's one you're not going to want to miss. Keep an eye on my social media for it. It's going to be a fun one. I'll see you guys soon.